and in this video, we are going to be discussing how God Almighty is the everlasting one. The idea that God Almighty lives forever is a simple and well-known fact in Christianity, and it's been stated many times in the scriptures. I'll begin by looking at some of those texts, and after that, we'll look at the implications of that, as in how this reality affects his plans. In Psalm 90 verse 2, the psalmist stated, "Before the mountains were brought forth, or ever thou hast formed the earth and the world, even from everlasting to everlasting, thou art God." The psalmist also stated, "Thy throne is established of old, thou art from everlasting." Psalm 93 verse 2. A statement from the book of Job also teaches us this. "Behold, God is great, and we know him not, neither can the number of his years be searched out." That is Job chapter 36, verse 26. We find this same information in the book of Isaiah too. "Hast thou not known? Hast thou not heard that the everlasting God, the Lord, the creator of the ends of the earth, fainteth not, neither is weary? There is no searching of his understanding." That is Isaiah chapter 40, verse 28. Just as I've said, there are many more verses which state this same fact. This supernatural feature of God Almighty gave him the name or title Ancient of Days, which we find in Daniel chapter 7, verses 9, 13, and 22. But the question now is, what does that really mean? How does the fact that God lives from everlasting to everlasting influence his actions? One thing we'll notice is that God is rarely in a hurry to do anything. He isn't going anywhere, and so he can take his time to achieve his purpose. After the Israelites had tempted him 10 times in the wilderness, he told them that they would remain in the wilderness for 40 years before he brought them to the land, so that those who disobeyed him would die, according to Numbers chapter 14, verses 33 to 35. To us humans, that's a really long time, a huge chunk of our lives, but to God, it's virtually nothing. As the psalmist said, "For 1,000 years in thy sight are but as yesterday when it is past, and as a watch in the night." Psalm 90 verse 4. St. Peter repeated this statement in 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 8. A similar example is when God allowed Israel to be taken captive by the Babylonians. Those evildoers who forsook God for idols thought they were smart, but after a while their iniquity caught up with them and they perished in exile. But God Almighty was still there as usual, and he advised those of the next generations to act wiser than their fathers did. He said, "Be ye not as your fathers, unto whom the former prophets have cried, saying, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, Turn ye now from your evil ways, and from your evil doings. But they do not hear, nor hearken unto me, said the Lord. Your fathers, where are they? And the prophets, do they live forever? But my words and my statutes, which I commanded my servants the prophets, did they not take hold of your fathers?" And so on, according to Zechariah chapter 1, verses 4 to 6. You can see that God Almighty can and will see his enemies out, because he lives forever and will always be there no matter what. It is based on this fact that God Almighty lives forever that he promised to set up a kingdom which would rise above all of Satan's works and stand forever, according to Daniel chapter 2 verse 44. He can ensure that that happens because he has the time to achieve it. The psalmist, in glorifying God, spoke of this unique attribute of God Almighty and explained how it would fulfill on his kingdom too. "All thy works shall praise thee, O Lord, and thy saints shall bless thee. They shall speak of the glory of thy kingdom and talk of thy power, to make known to the sons of men his mighty acts and the glorious majesty of his kingdom. Thy kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and thy dominion endureth throughout all generations." That is Psalm 145, verses 10 to 13. To build an everlasting kingdom, as God said he would, it takes a process, and we've described what that process is with other videos on this channel. God is methodically removing Satan's influence from the world by exposing those who champion his cause, according to Luke chapter 12, verse 2, and using human beings to build institutions that represent his own righteous ideas, as listed by St. Paul in Galatians chapter 5, verses 22 and 23. Christ described this process as a mustard seed in Matthew chapter 13, verses 31 and 32, which a farmer planted and cared for until it became a tree. Just as that takes a really long time physically, it takes a long time spiritually as well. And as Christians, we're supposed to be patient as it gradually unfolds. As Habakkuk the prophet said, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie." Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3. But the important thing to remember is that we can trust God because He lives forever. His plans are sure to happen, and His will is sure to prevail, because He has time to make sure it does. As He said through Isaiah the prophet, "So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it." Isaiah chapter 55, verse 11. Therefore, trust ye in the Lord forever, for in the Lord Jehovah is everlasting strength. Quoting a different place, that is Isaiah chapter 26, verse 4. And finally, we can have hope of eternal life, because God Almighty will be there forever to ensure it. It is God Almighty who sustains the life we have now, according to Acts chapter 17, verse 25 and verse 28. And if we please Him with our ways, He will make sure we will live forever in His presence, according to John chapter 5, verse 29, and James chapter 1, verse 12, and Matthew chapter 25, verse 46, because He is the everlasting one. If you enjoyed this video, then give it a like and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you will be notified when we come back with another Bible Q&A video, and even another Who is God video as well. Anyway, have a great day, and God bless you.